elder of the tribe of Dan. I also wish to invoke the law of Moses. I choose to banish my son to the refuge city of Endor.
That is a place for criminals and outcasts.
You shall appoint for yourself cities of refuge so that the one who trespasses may flee there. Those cities will serve as refuge for the Avenger. This is the law, and this is what I choose.
Please, mother.
This will spare blood from both our houses.
Once he enters this city, he can never return without paying his debt.
I am aware.
You know what this palace was before Father took it? It was a prison. It was never a home. I'm glad to be free of it.
No.
No. You can do something. Please. Mother! Eshbal!
Sorry,
Eshbal,
sister.
wait! Stop!
Sorry, sister.
Coming back though, right?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
I hope you find the happiness you deserve.
Hope you die in a ditch.
I'll miss you too.
All right. All right.
See you again.
The sibling dynamic is very believable in this. The actors do a really good job of seeming like siblings. That's praiseworthy. They did a really good job. I like the parallel they did between the story that the mom told Eshbal earlier, and then he does exactly the same thing, basically yelling, "I hate you, because you're letting me suffer the consequences of my actions." That was accurate. I don't know if Endor was a city of refuge. If so, it does make sense why there would be people not worshiping God inside of those cities. They fled there to not die, but that might be a misinterpretation of the law if that is their logic here, because I'm pretty sure there was nowhere in Israel you could go to get away from that one. In fact, the cities of refuge were generally like where you would go to await trial and avoid a lynch mob, essentially. Like I said, I'm curious what they're going to do with this, because there's no mention of Eshbal, any of this inside of the Bible. And so I want to know what they're going to do with his character later. In the next episode, having him not there with Merab it's a big burden on her. And it's a good decision from that perspective. What they do with the story moving forward past that is what I'm interested in seeing what their plans are. But they did a great job of showing the effect that this has on all of them. Jonathan was kind of shocked and trying to remain stoic. You could tell he was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that this is actually happening. Mikhail was very surprised and also disheartened and concerned. And then you see Merab was the one who just couldn't accept it, which tells you a lot about their family dynamic. A very well done scene. I liked it.
See this?
So I thought I saw smoke there, and I thought, it wouldn't still be there for a couple days, right? He burned it to destroy the evidence. Horrible. Really, the name they just said was his wife. Not sure why they gave him and David that moment. Be curious to see if anything comes of that. If it was just they would have passed each other. We should acknowledge that. Or maybe as a tension building thing, like David's going to an imprisonment, or possibly consequence of what happened while Eshbal goes to his.
You are not needed anymore, Eliav. Head to the barracks. I suggest you do not defy a commanding officer.
I do not wish to defy you, but I'm not leaving my brother's side. Not until I know what this is about.
And Job has to be confused. What are you all so worried about? This is fine. Very prison-y shot of the palace, too. It's a good idea. Visual tension building.
Bow to Queen Shepard.
Your name.
This way of showing how oblivious
David
David is.
My queen.
You have gained quite the reputation. I am anxious to hear you play.
To play?
Fetch him some new clothes.
You stay.
She said to go.
We've all been in those situations. Maybe not the queen, but... Wait, did you mean me to go?
When my poor husband was at war, he was bitten by a serpent. The venom caused an unusual illness where the symptoms were more of the mind. A friend of mine said she had a vision of a lion, and she reminded me that in Egypt, the lion Bes is the god of music.
Forgive me, my queen, but I serve no god but Hashem.
Yes. But we can learn from others, can't we? Truth can be found in many places.
Again, the idea of truth not being absolute coming from a somewhat villainous character. Also talking in a way that a queen of the Israelites should not be. If she had just said, well, I think that maybe that was what the vision was pointing us towards, was this line, this and music, maybe that'll help with the king. But no, she pointed to the potential wisdom of the Egyptian gods, which is not okay.
My husband's illness must be kept within these walls. Otherwise, you jeopardize the king's privacy. And the price for that is significant.
You have nothing to worry about. I have been insignificant my whole life.
I like how the Baal priestess, the actress played that, the way she's looking at David the whole time. Not the way that she is looking at, but the way that she is looking at him, of confusion and also apprehension of there's something about this boy that I, as a priestess of Baal, do not like. But I can't put my finger on what it is.
You're next.
That is one thing that I believe it's mentioned in the text, is that other musicians were brought in, and David was one of them, and he just, happened to won Israel Idol.
You didn't even consult me, just made a choice and sent him away. That Yair, take the head of any man who tried to seize my throne. Any man! No!
Oh, gosh, that's good. Layers of story writing of this thing just happened, and Saul is yelling about it in a way that makes sense character-wise and setting-wise and plot-wise, but also having David hear that, more scared now, because that might be me.
Are you all right? Hey, look at me. You made look in my eyes. Take a deep breath. I heard you play at the wedding. That is why I asked the queen to bring you here. Play like that again.
You chose me?
I did.
But I've never played anywhere like this.
Just play to me.
Okay. That gives the sense that this director actually knows what he's doing, because that is a better framed shot than we're used to getting these days. The arrangement of everybody, the colors, the way that I'm not the person to analyze this kind of thing. I'm really bad at it, but the way that Jonathan is standing over Saul, Saul's hunched down, she's kind of set apart, but also lit inside of this angelic way that you see inside of Renaissance paintings to show that she's, like a spiritual guide at this point for David, given what just happened with her and David. And the mom kind of set apart, and, she's kind of leading Saul astray, and he's leaning towards her rather than to Jonathan. And there's more thought put into this shot than a lot of Hollywood movies, and it's great. Also, oh gosh, there's so much subtext in that conversation with Hale. So again, I really like how they're actually building up their relationship. The tragedian inside of me, tragedian? I'm not sure how you pronounce that word correctly. But the fact that they're building up their relationship, knowing that it's kind of doomed. They do end up together and married, but it results in being a loveless marriage. Just twist that knife real hard. I like that it kind of built up that she felt like she could feel like she helped him by encouraging him. But really, the subtext is, oh, I wasn't called here by the royalty because of they found out something about me. It's actually because the princess said I play well, and so they brought me in here. And that calmed him down a little bit. But also, just nervousness of, I've never played in front of a king, and there isn't even a party here. Like, what am I doing? It's really good. And her helping him through it, again, builds that relationship, and also extra tragic later. And yeah, that was a very layered conversation and well written, and I like it. And this shot is really good.
David, play.
That's a weird chord. Again, framing of the shot. Now, everybody is being affected by his psalm, his worshiping of God. And the mom is cut out of the shot, showing the reaction as they're all in awe. That's really good visual storytelling. Also, in most adaptations of the story of David, I feel like this is something that's really missing, is they emphasize his skills as a musician. He had the Spirit of God on him, and he was an artist. He wrote hundreds of songs. It was very important to him, and clearly a deep part of his life, and he was good enough at it that it kind of banished a demon or subdued a demon inside of Saul, and he had the Spirit of God within him. So there was probably something supernatural about his ability to play and sing and write songs, and the emphasis that they place on that is accurate, and also it feels really good, and it's a unique take on David because we think of him as a warrior, but he was an artist and a poet, and he was also extremely reverent of and worshipful of God. So the emphasis that they put on his music in this series so far is really good. Again, the mom is not in that shot. And she's not reacting to David, she's reacting to Saul reacting to David. Not looking at Saul, not looking at Saul. Looking away from David. Looking at David. And this actor's really good. That face is so good.